Welcome to Scottish Football Matters. Next episode. Today we're going to review the League Cup second round from the weekend. So plenty of drama. Then we're going to talk about the 10 non-Old Firm teams in the league and see what we think they need to do in the next 2 weeks before the window closes. And we'll also have a wee look ahead to the European ties for Rangers, Celtic, Aberdeen, and Hibs later this week. So, as I said, if you said before in the last few weeks, if we really appreciate the like, subscribe. It helps the algorithm, and it can get us going. And again, any comments, just leave a comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't, and what you'd like to see, because we're always open to having any discussion points that some of the viewers might want to talk about. Right, so let's start with the weekend. Lorenzo, how did you?
Yep.
How did
Yep.
you think about the? Yep.
Yep. Well, before we start, I'd just like to reiterate what everybody else has been saying over the weekend on the internet about Sky Stout, the young girl that signed the contract with
Aye,
Kilmarnock. I think the abuse she had
terrible.
online was ridiculous. So we're behind her as well. So good luck, Sky, and what a goal you scored at the weekend. If you ever listen
Yeah,
to this or see it, but good luck to you in your career and hope you have a good one. But
she got a nice wee message from Alan McCoist as well, which I thought
aye,
was nice as
that's
well.
right. Yep.
On a train, typical Alan.
Uh,
I've ridden.
that's right. On a train. Right,
But
but
yeah, so League
the
Cup.
games.
We'll start with Celtic Friday night. How did you enjoy that? Bit of a sort of squad. There's a bit of a few rotation, but
Mhm.
players that come in certainly. I thought Dane Murray looked decent. I thought Yang looked decent when he came on. I
Yep.
think a few people have maybe staked a claim to be part of the squad.
I would say Dane Murray.
Um,
I would probably like to see him stay at the club rather than go out on loan, but Brendan Rodgers will probably have other ideas. But I thought his goal was really good. He took his goal well, and I think overall he had a good game. And by the sounds of it, or what Brendan Rodgers said, he only made one mistake the whole game. So outside of that, he never really put a foot wrong. So quite
Jesus,
pleased for
plays for
him.
Rangers. You make about five mistakes at centre back, but no,
It took a
I
while to
thought he
get
looked
going.
quite
Which
accomplished, and Engels looked decent. I know you can't judge too much on just one game, but his set piece delivery is brilliant.
oh, his
Um,
deliveries were good. Yeah,
I
they're really good.
don't I don't necessarily think he influences games enough, but you can't argue his balls in are brilliant, and I think Celtic would be daft not to start him against Rangers because quite clearly they have problems defending set pieces. So,
Yep. Yep.
but I thought Falkirk actually played quite well at times. I thought the right back was good.
Aye,
The
they
bloke
done all right.
scored. In fact, both right backs scored really good goals.
Oh, aye,
Because
that's right,
Johnson scored a
Alistair
good one with his
Johnson.
left, and
Aye,
their right back
that was a
was
good one. That
Phelan.
was a surprising goal for Johnson. I didn't expect him to do something like that, but that was a
Not
good
his
goal,
left
aye.
foot, no. Didn't think, I thought that was just to keep him up.
So did I.
But no, Aberdeen they got their first win against Morton. Yengi scored. I did say last week that I felt Yengi would get goals against
Hmm.
the the other teams, and yeah, I think Aberdeen needed that ahead of the European tie.
Aye.
And things could look a wee bit different for Aberdeen by the end of the month. I mean, they've got European football guaranteed. I think they've cancelled their game at the weekend. I think their next league game's home to Falkirk, and you could find that if they have a good end to the window, and you know things might look a bit rosier because right now it just looks a wee bit.
Well, they're
I always
supposed to
feel
be
think like
signing another striker as well. I heard the
they've
other day they
signed
were
two
after.
today. They've signed two. They've signed the striker from AC Milan,
Aye,
and
that's it. That's
a
the
winger,
boy.
a Swedish winger who
Aye,
cost 500k.
the boy
So
faced Milan. That was the one I remember them going after. Aye, they've obviously got him
yeah,
then. Yeah. So,
but
yeah.
yep. Next tie, we can go through it. St Mirren beating Hearts on penalties. I did say I fancied St Mirren. That's kind of where I fancied my shock, and it did. It kind of went how I expected it.
Hmm.
St Mirren are a wee bit. They're great defensively, but they've not really got much going forward. And but I thought they edged it, and they looked hungrier. Whereas I could say that Hearts' games against Aberdeen and Dundee United, they looked hungrier. I felt St Mirren looked the hungrier team.
Aye.
I read something today though that Hearts have got a terrible record in the League Cup. I don't think they've
Well,
won it in 34 years.
that's their bubble busting for the start of the season. Obviously, they started it really well, but they've lost
Not
that game now.
necessarily
So,
though, but if they win the weekend in the league, oh, I think their game's postponed actually. But if they do all right in the league, do you know what I mean? In some of the games, then they'll be fine. But
well, if they finish in the top six, then they'll be doing a lot better than they did last season. So, yeah.
yeah, but yep, Motherwell that went to extra time against St Johnstone, but they did find a way through. So credit to them.
Mm-hmm. Aye.
It's a good win. Motherwell, have to say, if you
But you
look
did
at their
think it.
game,
You did think that would be an upset. You thought St Johnstone would
yeah, I
win that
did.
one, but
I think I
yeah,
thought Phil St Johnstone. But one thing I've noticed about Motherwell is that's was it 3 games now, and they've only lost one goal, and that was against Rangers. And let's be honest, it was a terrible goal to lose. I think Tavernier had a free header for like 5 yards out. So they went to St Mirren, kept a clean sheet. They went to St Johnstone, kept a clean sheet, and they've scored the one. So I have to say that defensively they look much improved from last season because they
yeah.
conceded a lot last year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, different managers and stuff, but that guy
Aye.
seems to have a good structure, that manager. And if they can add a wee bit at the top end, I know they've signed somebody today. We'll speak about that in the what teams need. But yeah, I think Motherwell were on the right path.
Aye.
We'll dip into Rangers. 4-2. It was comfortable and it wasn't. If you know what I mean.
Aye.
Rangers cannot defend
That
set
was
pieces.
that was a really soft penalty, and all. If I'm honest, I maybe shouldn't have been a penalty.
To me, it's a disgraceful penalty, but it is right based on the law. But the law is completely wrong
The law's completely wrong.
because I can understand that from the law they're saying that Cortez's ball was heading towards the goal, and that is true.
Mm-hmm.
But what can that boy possibly do?
Nothing.
He's flung his body in front of a ball. Do you know what really should be happening with that? Nothing. Just a simple corner. The ball would went out for a corner, I think. Anyway,
Yep.
just
Yep.
play on and stop wasting people's time with nonsense. It's not Rangers' fault. It's not like any
Mm-hmm.
conspiracy, like Rangers getting dodgy penalties. That penalty would happen in any game across
Yep.
the country. The law's wrong though.
Oh, it's wrong. Definitely wrong.
I did think Bajrami looked quite decent though, to be fair, and Mikey Moore showed some decent touches. Obviously, his first game, so you
And
can't
what about your
good touches.
what about your fellow Asgard? What about him?
He only got 20, 30 minutes, but I thought he looked really bright. But
I'm
again,
not
if
so
he's
sure
ready
about
to
his hairdo.
start, oh well, no, let's just say it's Norwegian in it. But
Aye.
I think he looks bright though, and I don't know if he's ready to start tomorrow, but I'd certainly have him involved. I'd certainly have him starting at the weekend against St Mirren because he
Right.
needs to get in the team. But yeah, I think Rangers edged it. I don't think we can really argue much with that. What time we on now? There was Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock against Dundee United. Kelly did quite well to get through. I think again, it kind of went the way I thought it would with Dundee United. That
Mm-hmm.
the longer it went on, they would get tired from that penalty shootout, and you seen that Kelly finished the game stronger. It was quite
Yep.
close up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, Hibs, great result for them at Livy. Obviously,
Good result.
fantastic pitch on the back of an extra time win. They made a lot of changes. They took Bowie out the team, but that new side, the top record signing, scored a nice wee header. But Mulligan's goal was an
The
absolute
belter.
peach.
Absolute belter. I was just going to say, Mulligan's goal was an absolute cracker. Yeah.
Yeah, Mulligan's by Armies, they were good goals. There was another good one. I'm trying to remember what it was. I can't even remember now. Well, actually, Johnston's and the Falkirk right backs, they were all good goals.
Oh, that was a good goal for
Um,
Falkirk as well. I have to say that was special mention for that one. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's set up quarterfinals. So we'll have a wee quick, brief discussion of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we need to predict them right now, but
No.
you can if you want.
We've got a wee while to go.
Aberdeen Motherwell. You'd fancy Aberdeen will be happy with a home draw.
Aye, oh, definitely. And obviously that
You've
we'll
got
need to wait to see how that game goes when it comes around. But it depends on league
I
form,
think
I know as well. So.
Kilmarnock's at Mum again. I think it's big that Kilmarnock got the home draw. I think if that was the other way around, I'd be heavy favouring St Mirren.
Yeah,
But come on,
because
it's on their own pitch.
plastic pitch.
Kelly could make it through. Partick Celtic's an interesting one. I mean, Partick are probably the weakest team in the draw, but going to Partick's a horrible place. And
well, it will be.
You never
a tricky tie.
batter Partick. Like the amount of 2-1s I remember Rangers getting at Hull. It's just. So I think that's a tough one. And
that is
Rangers Hibs. I think Rangers they're lucky it's a home game, but then maybe they're not because I actually think Hibs are well suited playing away from home. I think you've seen that in Europe as well. I think they've got the one each against.
It'll be a tough game for Rangers.
One each against Midtjylland. They've won in Partizan. They've beat Dundee and they won 2-0 at the weekend. They've actually their worst results have been on their own patch. If you look at it that way, they lost to Midtjylland eventually. They lost to Partizan and they drew with Kelly. So that'll be an interesting tie, but it's hard to tell. I mean, and by the end, I think it's the end of September. These games possibly, or even October. I can't remember, but there were much changed. I mean, you don't know who will have signed before then. So but good ties to look forward to.
Definitely.
Think, it was a good one. So, shall we move on to what we feel? We're 2 weeks left in the window now. I think everyone needs to do something.
Oh, definitely.
Start with Aberdeen. This was my thoughts. Obviously, they've brought in the two people we spoke about, the striker and the winger. I just feel I looked at their squad and I thought they're a wee bit light at left back. And I'm going to raise this one to you because I don't know if it's something that you think would be a good idea. Do you think it'd be a good idea to send Inamura to Aberdeen to get them used to Scottish football? Because I think, and obviously not just that, it's playing European football as well.
Oh, I definitely think it would benefit Inamura, and obviously it would help him get used to the Scottish game and the rough and tumble of it.
Because you've had some previous with them, obviously sending
Scales, Christie,
back in the day. But I think it was just I thought about it because I thought he's still looking for a left back. Inamura's not really getting a look in. And I thought, I wonder if that's someone. I mean, I'm not saying it will be him, but I think they'll definitely.
No, but it's a good idea. Definitely a good idea. Good idea.
Anything else you think on Aberdeen?
They maybe need another midfielder, possibly, just because they're maybe a wee bit light in midfield.
They looked all right, but maybe a wee bit more creativity because Clarkson's a good player, but maybe just someone else, just in case. You never know. Long seasons with Europe as well. You're going to bring people in and out. Hearts, I was looking through their squad and I felt going forward they look good, and I would say it's mainly just I looked at a right back and maybe another centre back would be for me what they would need. I feel they need just that wee bit, just extra cover. Derek McInnes knows what he's doing, but I just felt they look quite good mid to front.
Who do you think? Who do you think they should go for as a right back then, or a centre back? Who would you have in mind if they were to possibly get one?
Tough. I mean, I don't know whether they go into the loan market because again they've got the boy Murray for Celtic. No, Rangers are trying to get rid of Nsiala or King, but don't know that they would go. I don't know that they would get a game for Hearts. I think they'd maybe be better going to a lower Premiership kind of level. But you know what? Derek McInnes knows the Scottish market, but he also finds
he knows the English market as well. For his time down there, well, he should still know it.
Yeah,
he must still have contacts down there.
Remember, Hearts use that Jamestown Analytics, don't they, for Brighton? So there'll be someone.
They've got Tony Bloom. So.
Yep. So on to Hibs, I know it's going to sound harsh because he's bounced back really well, but I feel they could upgrade the goalie position. But he did bounce back really well from that horror.
He did. But they still need a stronger goalkeeper. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I felt maybe another option on maybe left wing back and maybe another centre mid. They've not really replaced Triantis, who went back to Sunderland. So I think if they can get him back in centre mid, left wing back, they could get away with it because I know Mulligan can kind of play there. They've still got Nicky Cadden, and Obita, who can
A
play
beater, aye.
left back. So I
Yeah.
think they're probably okay, but I just felt with Europe, maybe it's something that they could look at. Dundee United, I felt, again, left back, and I feel they need another striker. I don't
Aye.
really know who they could go. Again, Inamura would be an option, I
They
think.
could, aye, and a Mura, possibly, yeah. And
I feel they need a bit more
Callum Osmond.
Scottishness.
Even Callum Osmond for Celtic.
Well, I was thinking that. I know he's Welsh, but I think they could do a few Scots in that team, or at least British players, because I looked through that team the other day, and there was like one Scot in their team, and do you know what? I wonder if Celtic would be looking to loan out Kenny, because the reason I say that is obviously Jim Goodwin's Irish. He'll know him quite well probably, and I just wonder if that would be somebody to give them just another body.
I prefer Johnny Kenny to go to somebody in Scotland. I know he went to Shamrock Rovers the last time, but I'd rather he get into a Scottish team to get used to the Scottish League, a bit like Inamura. I want him to get used to the Scottish game. Yeah.
But Munn look brilliant at the back. They look absolutely brilliant, but I feel they need a bit of creativity. They lack a bit of width and maybe another striker. I don't know who. I mean, there's one name that's jumped out at me, but I don't really want him to leave Rangers right now. But Finlay Curtis, I think if he does leave Rangers, I think I could see him going to the likes of Munn or.
You mean on loan? You mean? Yeah, definitely just a loan.
Just a loan. He's going to come back, but there's no point in being fifth choice at Rangers when he needs games, because it's all well and good seeing him break through and you go, oh, this boy's exciting, but then if you only see him every 6 weeks, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? He got 6 minutes the other day and he scored.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at the end of the window. It'll all happen in the last day. All these players will be getting loan and stuff like that. That's what you'll find. You'll find that.
Yeah, I think Motherwell. I think they need to spend the Lennon Miller money on. I was going to say a striker, but I don't know if you noticed today they signed Callum Hendry. Don't you remember him? He was a big lump, but he played for Kelly, St Johnstone, and I think he was down at Salford. Did really well down there.
He was, aye.
That's a good signing for Motherwell. I still think they need wingers.
Lennon Miller was an attacking midfielder, so they don't need another attacking midfielder. Then I'd say he was an attacking
probably
midfielder.
Do, but I know they're interested in Bailey Rice, but I think he's more of a sitting midfielder. But I wonder if Bailey Rice could go there just as an extra midfield body.
Yeah.
He doesn't really seem to play with the attacking midfielder role. The manager seems to sort of play sort of midfielders just sort of sitting or flat. So yeah, I think Motherwell definitely need some width. I wonder who big. I don't know if this is a wee shout, but Scott Wright's not getting a game down at Birmingham. I think for any of these teams that we've just mentioned that need a winger, I feel like Scott Wright needs to launch his career. He's not going to make it at Birmingham now that they're at the Championship level, going to the Premiership. He's not good enough for that Rangers Celtic level, as we know when he's down at Rangers. But he is still a good player, and I think
he's good for it. He's good for a certain level. He's good for a certain level,
and I think he would be somebody that I could see teams looking at. Dundee, I feel they really need a bit of experience in that sort of middle of the park. Because I'll tell you why, and the reason I noticed this is when they played against Rangers with 10 men, they didn't have anyone to just calm that game down and say, let's keep the ball, let's use our extra man. There was no one doing that. And
they could have won the game.
It back. And I know they got a draw, but
they could have won the game if they had the extra players. Aye.
And I'll tell you one thing, I heard today that I don't know if maybe they are too good for that level, but I don't know. Stuart Armstrong's still out of contract.
Is he?
And Ryan Jack's supposed to be leaving that team in Turkey. And if he gets his contract ripped up before the window, he'd be a free agent. I think both of them would tick boxes.
Stuart Armstrong played for Dundee United. Would he go to Dundee?
Maybe not. But Ryan Jack, I think, would.
Yeah, he possibly would, but I don't think Stuart Armstrong would go to Dundee, having played for Dundee United.
Maybe not, but it was just players that I looked that didn't have a club, and I thought, oh, do you know what? You might want to fancy coming back up the road.
Yeah.
Kilmarnock, I feel they need wingers because they've not really replaced Armstrong left, didn't he? And
Alan Armstrong,
but Bobby Wales left, didn't he?
Hmm.
He went down to Swansea,
Yep.
and this is where I was thinking Curtis would probably go if he goes out on loan. But I'd love to see us send Cortez there. And I know it sounds mad, but with his injuries, send him to the plastic pitch. Actually, it was the plastic pitch that gave him his first
Quite
injury.
fun. That'd be
But
quite funny that.
I just feel he needs to toughen up. And I think even just a loan to January to see
Mm.
what he's got and see if he can stay fit. Because if he can stay
Yeah.
fit long enough, and he, can, we might find that, he can add something to
Yeah.
Rangers in the future. But right now, he just needs, game time.
Mhm.
Yep, the last sort of two, Livingston, I feel they need like a holding midfielder and possibly just a bit of width as well. But they've done better than I thought. But I think Martindale's always quite clever in the market. I think he's always good at picking up a wee loan here and there.
He's always
Um,
good at what he is good at. Is see every season his team have to rebuild itself because they
yeah.
lose their best players pretty much every year. So he's good at that, bringing in players, every year that strengthen that team and that squad.
One that I thought, and I don't know if it'd be a permanent, it probably would, but I think Leon King going to Livingston would be a great deal because he's not going to make it at Rangers. Let's be honest. He plays for Scotland and holding mid, and he can obviously play centre back, but we've seen him be quite weak there. But I
There's a
think
player
he'd
at
be good for
Celtic as well.
Livingston.
Remember, there's a player at Celtic as well. Remember that might be on his way. I mean, I don't know if he's going to go abroad, but Stephen Welsh.
Again, but he seems to have interest from Italy and stuff.
I
So,
know he's got
so
interest for
yeah,
abroad, hasn't he? Yeah.
and yeah, Falkirk, I feel probably need just another striker just to get them the goals that they need. And I looked at them the other night, and they did look a wee bit. I mean, Adjaman looks decent, but
Mm.
the boy up front, I forget his name, played. He was unlucky with a couple of shots, but when they made subs, I just didn't really feel they had much to come on and try to get themselves back into the game. So I feel maybe
Celtic
just
scored a couple of quick goals and kind of killed the game off in the second
it
half.
did, it did. Obviously, we did mainly speak about Rangers and Celtic the other night, but Rangers
Uh-huh.
obviously brought in a left back. I think he's
Mhm.
just a backup left back. I don't think that's a first choice one. Rangers still need to go out there and get a left back, a left centre back, and a striker
Yeah.
before the end of the window. But I do believe that the standard of those players will be decided during our Champions League campaign.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think
If you get
if we
there, if you
get
get
through,
there.
if we get through, we'll spend more money on those positions. If we
Mm.
don't, we'll maybe spend a bit less. Or not saying cheap out, but maybe shop in a different market. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Celtic, I think they've been linked to a few players finally.
Yep.
It seems
I
like they've never been linked to anyone, but want to
but Jamie
strength,
Vardy.
strength. Oh, Jamie
Jamie Vardy.
Vardy's been linked to everyone and their dog, but I don't
I
know how
know.
much truth. He's been linked with Rangers for half the summer and Celtic the other half.
That's
But
right.
somebody said that he's desperate for a move to Celtic, and
Well, I seen that today, but I don't know if that's true. A reunion with
I
Brendan
think
Rodgers.
my only issue is that
It scored goals. There's no doubt about it. It
I
scored goals up in this league,
don't think
definitely.
he's the sort of striker you need, though. I feel you need
I think he'd score a lot more goals than Adamida, though. I still think that, even at his age. And he's got
maybe,
good
but
experience.
would you be worried that him and Maeda would make the same type of runs? And sometimes the best thing,
Vardy and Maeda.
but sometimes the best thing is that a striker needs to drop off to give
Mhm.
Maeda the space to run into. Right, is what
You
I'm
might be
thinking.
right.
And if
You might be right.
Vardy's not going to do that, Vardy's going to try and make that same run.
Aye.
And I just feel as if I can't see they two working well together. Now,
What
that's
about the
not to
other?
say that Jamie Vardy couldn't be a great sub, or
No, he will
I
be.
just don't think he's coming up here to be a sub.
No, he won't be. If he's going to be coming to Celtic, he'll want to start the games, yeah, definitely.
And I think he's still getting linked with West Ham and Brentford, so we shall see. But I think the more interesting one's the Feyenoord winger,
Calvin
Strings,
Stings. Calvin
Stengs.
Stings, yeah.
He looks a good player, but a wee bit injury prone over the last few
Hmm.
years. But a real big, like quite a big boy for a winger.
Aye.
Like he's well over 6 foot, and I think if he can, I don't want to jinx him, right, but he looks quite Lammers like, in that he plays in his own wee world. But when he's on it, and
Could be a good player.
could be. But yeah, I think there'll be plenty of activity in
And then
standouts.
I also
Right.
seen today that the Balikwisha thing. Apparently that's finished away now because Celtic ran out of time. What does that mean? Ran out of time with what?
Well, it's not the end of the window, so there's still
I
time.
know, but it says they've ran out of time or something. That was the headline.
Maybe they gave Celtic a deadline in terms of so that they've got time to replace them.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, unless it's 5 minutes before the window, there's still time. So
Of course, of course. I mean, we've been after the guy for
sometimes,
about nearly 2 years now, so
but
you never
what
know.
Celtic don't want is you don't want to leave too much to the last minute and you end up paying over the odds.
Well, they've done that before, so
Because
why
once
not do it again?
if you make it through the Champions League, then people know you've got more and more money, and they're just
That's
going to
right.
go that 5 million players now
hmm
7 million, that
That's
seven
right.
million is now 10.
That's what happens when
And
you
we
leave
got a
it
wee
late
bit
in the
stung with
window.
that last year. Yeah.
hmm
But onto this week, how do you see the first legs going? It's really weird, isn't it, to see all four Scottish teams at home
Yep, that must be a
in the first
first.
leg? Yeah.
Um,
This is my own. I mean, we'll do our mini predictions then on this one
right.
because it's only 4 games.
hmm
I think Rangers Bruges will be goals. Um, I can see it finishing 2-2. The reason I
Right.
say that is because Rangers can't defend for anything. But you know what they're like on European nights, Ibrox, full crowd. I could see Rangers scoring as well. And the
I'm stinking at
friendly they
predictions.
finished the friendly finished 2 each as well. And I
Aye.
think when you played them, it finished 1 each. And I think that
I
leaves
think
the tie open. But I
my
think
prediction my prediction will be for the Rangers game. I think they'll get beat 3-1, but that's me doing a Hugh Keevins because I'm probably not going to get that right.
on to Celtic against Kyra, I think it will finish 4-1 to Celtic.
Do you know I was going to say the same 4-1 because
Yeah,
I think they'll get a goal because they're that type of team that they could get a goal
yeah.
against us. But I'm hoping
Even
that we
four
take a
one to
3 goal
keep them
lead.
in the tie
We
to
need
a
a three
point.
goal lead. Aye. But we
Yeah.
need to take at least a 3 goal lead to Kazakhstan to have a chance of getting through.
Hibs Legia Warsaw, I see finishing as a score draw, which I think is a good result for Hibs because they seem to do their best stuff away from home anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as long as they're still in the tie, I
What
think that'll
score
be
draw do
good.
you think? What's your
I'm
prediction
going to
then?
say 1-1. I've
I'll
always
say
written for
two.
2 each for Rangers, so
I'll
I'll
say
go
two
1 each.
two. I'll say 2-2. I'll say two each.
And Aberdeen will lose 2-1 to Steaua Bucharest. They'll still be in the tie, but
Do you think
I
Steaua
think
Bucharest are that good?
no.
No,
But
obviously no. But
they've got good
obviously they
players.
must be better than Aberdeen then.
The boy in midfield, Olaru, is really good.
Mm,
They've got a striker called, I really forget his name. It's like Briglia, something like
mm.
that. Plays for the Romanian national team, and he played against us last year. And if it hadn't been for a couple of close offsides, or he looked a player. And I think if Aberdeen give up chances the way they did against Celtic and Hearts, then yeah, I think Stoic. But even a narrow defeat keeps them in the tie because you never know what can happen in a second leg. People
Yeah,
can
that's right.
sometimes take their eye off the ball and think the job's done.
hmm
But as long as we're all still in the tie, going to away legs, and in my heart of hearts, I actually think that Aberdeen will lose the tie. Hibs will win their tie. I think they'll win in Warsaw. Celtic will lose away, but do more than enough
Still,
at home.
still get through.
And I think Rangers will somehow get another draw in Bruges, and it'll go to extra time. And I could even see the wonder of penalties to decide Rangers Champions League fate.
So you think that if it goes to penalties, Rangers will win?
No, because we're hit or miss, didn't we? We lost to use, didn't we, in penalties? But then we did
Mm-hmm.
beat the Fenerbahce last year.
Yep.
But penalties are a lottery. Let's be honest. I know it's the old-fashioned saying, but it is. And do you know what? I'm going to be bold. I think Rangers will sneak it somehow.
Okay.
But I think it'd be great for Scottish football, as I said, to have 4 teams in the league phase of the
It would be.
European competitions, and
Mm.
the money it would make Rangers and Celtic from the Champions League, and the money it would make Hibs and Aberdeen from the Conference League or the Europa League,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
then I think it can only be a good thing.
Right.
But
Bye.
Is there any other talking points you think? Because I know obviously we're going to come back on later in the week and we can preview. There's not many games this weekend because obviously
With the
Aberdeen,
cancellations with
Dundee
the
United
European games and that. Yep.
postponed and the Hibs game's postponed. So I think there is only 4 on. I know St Mirren Rangers, Celtic Livingston. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the other 2 games, but yep, it'll be interesting to review them anyway, and we can talk about how the European, and also I think next week we can maybe do a draw special. We can sort of review the Champions League draw
if we get through. If we don't get through, then we're not reviewing it. So
if not, then on the Friday we can. If not, we can just review the
Europa one,
Conference League ones on the Friday. But I think all the draws will be good, and that takes us into obviously a wee small derby match. We'll speak more about later.
Yeah, nearer the time. Yeah.
Then into deadline day, which I think it'll be massive, and I don't want to say it's going to be like title defining, but I think it'll be defining whether Rangers can make a challenge. I think if Rangers get and I think it's a bit of both. I think Rangers would have to get everyone in they wanted, and Celtic not get in everyone that they wanted for it to feel like we've come out the window stronger. But I think no matter what, I think Rangers are going to come out the window stronger than they've been in it.
Celtic will need to come out stronger because we're certainly no stronger at the minute.
My fear is that it's just not going to be strong enough. But I think we always knew that this was going to be a work in progress for Rangers, and you're never going to be able to overhaul a whole squad in one window. But there's something that does worry me, though, just if we can mention this for the last couple of minutes. But Rangers are going to need to rebuild that defence again next year, because if you look at all the defenders in the Rangers books, right, Aaron's on loan.
Yep, Tavernier's out of contract.
Yep, you've got the boy Magoma coming in on loan.
Yep,
no option. You've got Giga on loan. Suter
no option,
out of contract.
Yep,
and you've got Fernandez who looks raw at best.
Right.
I mean, looks like he'll score a few goals.
So that's a whole new defence you'll need. That's a whole new defence.
Yep.
Maybe a new goalkeeper. I know. You never know. I mean, how much has Butland got left on his contract?
Butland's still got a couple of years, but the only one I didn't mention is Sterling, but I didn't mention him because he can never stay fit. But we'll see what he comes back with. He won't be back till October time anyway, but he is a good player. There's no doubt about that. But pointless player if he ain't fit. But it's just weird because I always thought Rangers would have the building blocks so they wouldn't need to do a rebuild every year. But it seems like I don't mind loan players, right? If there's an option to buy, or if you're basically saying, right, I'm getting this guy next year, and this is just a stopgap, or this guy's just too good to turn down. But Giga, I would say fair enough, right? But I wouldn't say Max Aarons or.
He doesn't look very good. The Max Aarons guy, he's not very good.
I wouldn't say that Aarons or Magoma are players that you'd say, oh my God, they're too good to turn down. Mikey Moore, you could say fair enough. I don't think Rangers could get a Mikey Moore in a year, because if he goes the trajectory that we expect him to do, he'll be playing for Tottenham in a year. Giga will be playing in the Premiership in a year. But the other two, I don't know. I just feel like they just look like panics. Or do you know what it is? It's two people that the manager knows. But
well, that's it. That's what happens when a manager comes in. He always brings in guys that he trusts and he knows.
But we'll see. I don't want to be too judgy, but I definitely think the Rangers need to get in a permanent left back before the end of the window, one that's ours, so we can at least say there's not that much building to do. Because then you would at least say, okay, you've got a permanent left back, you've got Sterling, you've got Fernandez, and we do need another centre back. But as long as they're permanent signings, then I'll be happy enough. But then we'll obviously find out where Vardy goes.
That's right. Hopefully within the next, maybe by the end of this week, I'm hoping to find that out.
I've still got a sneaky feeling he'll go to West Ham, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was wearing hoops.
Well, we'll see what happens. We just need to keep a
Also,
close eye on it.
wouldn't actually massively surprise me if he came to Rangers.
That would be funny, wouldn't it, as
But
well? Aye.
that would involve like Dessers and Igamani going. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's probably more likely to go to Celtic because of the Brendan Rodgers connection.
Aye, but I think if Celtic didn't offer him a contract
No,
and
oh,
Rangers did,
obviously,
then
obviously, yeah.
that would change things. But
Hmm.
yeah, we shall see. But I've got to admit, I'd be doing all I can to go and get that Kieran Bowie for Hibs if I was Rangers. I'd be literally saying how much, because no matter how much they charge you this year, it'll be worth double next year.
Oh, he will be, aye,
So
because his
to
value's
me,
increasing all the time.
I think Hibs would sell him for 5 million, maybe 6 million, just the
But
way our
now,
transfers fees are going. I think they would sell him for that, and I think Rangers would be. I mean, if you sold Dessers for 5 million, the best way to reinvest it would be Bowie, who right now would offer you a big physical presence and a long-term plan. But
mhm.
yep, so I shall see you at the end of the week for the next
Yep,
pod. But
yep,
yep, thanks for tonight, and
right,
yep, again,
yep,
everyone, if you're enjoying it, like and subscribe and
yep.
leave a
Let's hope
comment.
so. Yep,
All
please
right,
do. Yep.
right, I'll speak to you later.
All right, thanks, mate.
Right,
Right,
bye.
bye bye.